Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 93rd edition of TLRSHOWS. I'm Rinti Sengupta, your host for the evening, and today I have a very special guest with us, Miss Bansri Chawda. She's a famous painter, and she's popularly known for a unique style. She has the ability to paint stories on her canvas. Her paintings are like journeys. It conveys stories, and it's like she's talking about stories from all around the world. Art for her is not a hobby or a profession, let me tell you. It's much more than that. After knowing her, I felt it's more like a spiritual journey, like a soulful journey. After meeting her, I found her to be a very humble and a very kind soul, and I'm sure she's going to leave a mark on all of us today. And I welcome Bansri to the show. Welcome, Bansri.
Thank you, Rinti. Thank you so much.
So now I've been reading about you as I was talking, just now I've been mentioning, I've been reading, I've been watching, I've been following you. And, you have touched me in many, many ways. And I'm getting so curious about your work. You're not like those regular artists which I've met till now. Those painters whom I know who look at something and paint. You're not like that. You break all boundaries. You are different, I'm so curious to know how does this all happen? How is your art so different?
That's because the real canvas is me that I'm trying to paint.
Wow.
You can take it like that. It is an internal journey for me. Work is something that I have chose. It's not a compulsion. Even today, it's not a compulsion to work. But it's something that I have chose, and somewhere I feel that art has chosen me versus I have chosen art. It still remains a question that I've not got an answer to, but whenever I work, for me it's like, am I evolving with my work? Am I evolving somewhere internally? If the answer is yes, then surely somewhere, if I will evolve in a dimension, I'm going to evolve with others around me too. So that's how it's important to me in that ways.
Wow. I mean, I have not, come across someone like this. The thoughts are so different. I always felt that art was very restricted. Although me being a puppeteer and, I have tried different types of break free arts, and I've tried different ways to reach out to my audience. But for a painter, I always thought it's very rigid. And when I saw your work, it was lovely. I'm sure the
So
audience will know more about you soon.
yeah.
This is
What I love about your art, Rinty, is it's such a spontaneous art, where you speak and you connect with people. To me, I feel that's a very difficult thing to do versus doing something on the canvas. That's far more easy, I feel.
I think we both, mutual admiration is going on out here. Yeah. So coming to the next thing that I was very curious about, that many a times you find children who are in their class 10 or 9, they already know what they want to do in life. Like, if not 9 or 10, maybe by 12th, class 12, they are very sure. Okay, now mujhe ye banna hai, mujhe wo banna hai. That's very clear in their minds. So
Yeah,
did
these days.
these thoughts of being a painter and, an artist, did this come to you when you were that age, or was it something different?
Okay, this is like a long story. It's like a roller coaster ride for me.
I don't
So,
mind listening.
so this to me it starts back, when I heard my mom talking about me as a toddler. What I've known about me is I've always loved playing with my hands, making things with my hands. I've always enjoyed that. So it was not a wonder when in 10th standard I had to make a choice between computers and arts, and I chose fine art versus computer. So that was just, it was just because it was natural to me. Computer was an alien language, and that's why I chose art. It was like an escape route for me कि computer कौन करेगा, भाग जाओ यहाँ से. So that is why I chose art. By the time I finish
I have
my,
something to
yes,
ask here it's before you continue. How was your parents' reaction then?
so my mom find it good because she for she also explored quite a bit with ceramics. And I remember the day, one of the days she had come to give a demo in my school, and I was very proud. My mom was in my school teaching us, so I was happy about it. But when it came to choosing art as a career, I don't think mom was open about it at that time. I come from a business family, although my father is quite different. He's very open minded. For him, education is not something that you get in schools and colleges. He does not believe in that. So, yes, I'm coming to your question here. So, mom was out of town, and I asked my dad, Dad, I want to be a fashion designer. That's what I told
Okay.
him. And
Yeah.
I really thought, that time I was passing through a phase called teenage. And there were these colorful thoughts in my mind. I wanted to be a fashion designer and stuff. So I told my dad I want to be a fashion designer. And back then I did not know difference between a certificate course and a diploma course. And my dad did not question me about, how is this course going to help me and stuff. He said, to kya karna hai, what do you want me to do about it? I said, Papa, I need LC, living certificate. He said,
Okay.
chalo, kahan se nikalna hai? I said, school se. So
How nice.
we went to
Okay.
school and uh, LC nikal liya. That time I did not know that I'm going to hurt my mom very badly. And
Okay.
then when she came to know about this, she was very pissed off, rona dona, and quite a lot. And she took me to my principal, and she requested my principal to take me back in. She actually cried in front of my principal. So he had his own limitations, administrative limitations, and he said that he could not take me back in the school. But there's something very beautiful, he said. He said, if you want to become a creative person, your field work is that what which is going to matter. And the better the explorer you are, the world will know you better. Nobody is going to ask you where did you get your knowledge from, which school or college. It's going to be all about you. And this thing stayed with me.
Wow.
um, फिर भी उसके बाद भी I was like not sure I wanted to be a fine artist by that time. So I continued with my fashion designing, whatever I was learning in my course. And my mom put me for a 12th board exam, external board exams. I was going through that process also. But while I was doing my fashion designing, at that time, something started to break off. I realized that I'm not very happy with my designing thing. And I was continuously asking for a sign, something, a symbol, a sign. At that time, I remember a particular painting caught my attention in my teacher's lobby. This painting was about a ship which was um, which was in between a storm. So the painting was about a ship caught in a storm.
Okay.
And I used to stand in front of that painting thinking that painting is such a timeless thing. It's such a timeless thing. So that's the place where I wanted to be. And perhaps that was the moment where I fell in love with art as such.
My God. So then, did you continue with your fashion designing, and or what did you do? I mean, a little more about it. I mean, what did
I finished the certificate course that I was pursuing. And after my 12th, my mom did not want me to again go in any artistic field. So it was like commerce karna hai. And I was like, okay. So what was coming next to me was even a big question because it was something that I never wanted to do.
Oh,
So
nice.
finally, I did company secretary, and I was pursuing
Okay.
company secretary. That's when I got even more sad in life, and
But
I
those
started.
days, that was the most happening thing I remember happening. Company secretary, everybody was going for it.
Secretary, yeah, yeah,
Because I'm also
and
from commerce background, and I remember that everybody, I mean, all those who were doing commerce, I myself have done my commerce, and या तो CA बनना है या तो CS करना है. There's
uh,
nothing else to do otherwise.
so yes, I got very sad in life, and I thought the only way to be happy is to make remakes of already existing paintings. So I started making replicas of paintings,
Okay.
and that's when I was also going to learn my company secretary. My husband now was my professor then, so he used to
Oh,
teach me.
okay.
And I remember taking one painting to him and showing him, there was this lady by a sewing machine. So I took a painting to him and I showed him this. And
Um,
when we got married, he told my mom that perhaps uh, you don't want your daughter to have a degree because I have two, so it's okay. She can do whatever she feels like. And he
lovely.
gifted me book which was a Van Gogh book. And
Okay.
after that my self study started. I started reading more, I started experimenting more. That book gave me a different view, a different dimension to think, to learn.
That means behind every successful man, so I should say behind every successful woman is also a man, right?
uh, yes,
It's both
maybe.
sides, right? Yeah,
Yes.
I definitely agree on this. I get a great support from my husband too. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to pursue this till this extent. You need support of your family, you need support of your husband. Uh, on this, again, I have one more very similar kind of, question, which has been really, I will say, bugging is the right word, if you don't mind. I was watching your work and I said, felt like, liberation, freedom to me. And few days back, I watched one of your videos on YouTube. It's called the Dapple Canvas.
Mhm.
And there you talk about your emotions guiding you. And
Mhm.
it's like, as if you start with nothing and then your emotions are guiding you and something is coming. How is it possible? I mean, ये क्या हो सकता है? I mean, I want to really know ये कैसे हो गया? And what came out at the end was miracle.
I would say ये अंदर की बात है.
You could share a
So
little bit of your secrets.
no, actually, when I sit in front of a blank canvas is very intimidating because you don't know what to do with that space. And if you really want to be authentic, you don't want to contemplate, you don't want to see and paint, you don't want to, rather than, as Dr. Prabhakar Kolte, he's an artist, a senior contemporary Indian artist. He says that I don't see and paint, I paint and see.
Okay.
So that's very beautiful, and he's a very, very wonderful person. A lot to learn from him.
Yeah.
So yes, in front of a blank canvas, I think I ask myself, what's inside? Andar kya baat hai? What's inside? So if the emotions are, say, very negative, there's a lot of pent up anger, or say I'm disgruntled, or I'm grateful, or I'm happy, whatever it is, I allow myself to talk with my canvas. I allow myself, I give myself that freedom that I would choose to portray even negativity on my canvas and see where it takes me. And the beautiful thing is that it will take whatever I have to express, and at the end, it will just transform even on the canvas and inside me.
My
So
God.
I don't know how to put it in words, but this is how the process is.
I think if I try doing that, I'll end up in doing nothing. I
That's
mean, this sounds so magical, I don't think, oh God. It is magical to me. It's like as if you have a wand or something in your hand instead of a brush. An invisible source, right? It feels like that. So maybe that's why you consider it as a spiritual journey, maybe. I don't
it
know. Maybe.
it is a spiritual journey, and time and again, it has showed me a very spiritual side of my being. It's like um, it's like if I take a top view, a top camera angle, a top view, then I'll come to know that I'm the center and I'm the circumference.
Okay.
So it's that it is that aspect which has come even in my art when I have explored painting dots, especially circles
Yeah.
and dots. Even around me, you will see like
Yes, I
I
can see.
still, yeah, dots. They they are somehow very, they pull me towards them. It's a beautiful phenomenon of a center and a circle that comes to me, even with a shloka that comes to my mind, which my guru recites. It says, Shri Vidyam Shivavam Bhaganilyam Reemkar Mantrojwalam Shri Chakrankit Bindu Madhyavasatim Srimad Sabhanaika. So it says the feminine energy, Mother Divine, she is seated in the center of a circle.
Okay.
And that's how it unfolds for me slowly, the spiritual side of art, I would say.
So it is. Do you have your guru who is maybe guiding you, or is there some other story behind this? I mean, this is too deep, if you ask me.
It's still an unexplored territory jahan pe I don't know how it's gonna unfold still, but sometimes I give up completely. I don't want to know about anything. Sometimes I'm too much deep into it, and it's like a loving caring tango. It's like a roller coaster, kabhi upar kabhi niche. That's how it is. I accept it the way it is.
So when you are even when you're doing your workshops or when you're doing with your children, that time also you ask them to be as free as you are, or you guide them in some way. I mean, this is out of the this is what I'm just coming to. I'm so curious.
This is the only thing I know. I cannot bind them into something. Even the online art platform where I teach, when I take personal classes, we have a group. I also take one-on-one class, but this is called Art Your Way. So it's
Okay.
about, and it has a tagline which says, "Enter without." It's a child's world. Enter without ego.
Wow.
So we just
Lovely.
drop everything and we become, kids. And every exploration is a good exploration. No art is a bad art. I tell them there is nothing like bad art. So
This
just
is
make whatever.
so similar to. I mean, what you're saying is so similar to the puppetry that I do, because that's how we are able to connect. Because puppet has no ego,
Yeah,
and it is asking you to trust the puppet, because the puppet is not going to judge you. It's so. I mean, I think art is art. It's all connects in some way somewhere. I don't know. It's so similar when I listen to you. It's so that's why I think you and me connected so well. I don't know.
yes.
I take time to connect, but you just clicked with me because we had some common things to talk about, and I love talking to you. When I was just knowing you, even reading, I went through an Insta page and I found it very interesting, very very interesting. So yes, now this with all this, I have another very important question, which a
But
question
before
which
you
has
ask me one question, I would
yeah.
like to know about the green puppet behind you. I mean, everything about that puppet is, catching my attention. The way it's lying down, and the color of it, and the big ears I can see, and it's so beautiful, Rinty.
Yeah, thank you. He is called Bosky, and
Okay.
he plays a dual role. He's a double role guy, just like a Hindi movie guy. Muppets are actually it's just a Muppet. It can
Mhm.
talk, and it has a live hand. So when I wear it, it does whatever I want it to do, scratching your head and poking your nose, or even drinking a cup of tea.
Oh, okay.
So when I made it, I thought ki itna mehnat kiya, then why not give it a dual role? So it turns into somebody called as a Hare Kaka, where the horns disappear and a mustache comes, and my spectacles come and they come into his eyes, and he completely transforms. His personality transforms. So this was one of very challenging work I did because in our country nobody teaches Muppetry. So
Okay.
it was like, look at others' work and, like the way you explored. I was also busy exploring and, talking to people, meeting people because visually jitna dekha, utna ya kabhi kabhi videos, some people are very kind to share some videos or some kind of, some tips. All those helped me to make him. And he's my
Mhm.
darling.
Wow, that's so
So
awesome.
just like my next question will come, I think that question is again, I don't know, something, a very nice connection is happening here, which is not at all planned. Let me tell all the audiences here, it's not planned because when now you spoke about my Bosky, and my next question was about colors.
Mhm.
Because when I get my puppet, everybody says green. Oh my god, it's so scary. In the beginning, they feel like that. That's a kind of a thought they have, and later they really start falling in love with him.
Mhm.
Similarly, when I watched your Dapple Canvas, I saw you using a lot of black. So
Mhm.
this was my question to you. As an educator and as a parent, I have always heard this thing from everybody that don't let your children use black. Black is a negative color. Actually, my elder son always used black when he was in his class 8, 9, 7, 8, 9. And I've been called frequently by the teachers, he needs counseling and all. I said, "Ki, let him be. That's his way of expressing his emotions." I wish I had met you then, Then I could at least uh, tell them, ki, look, this is not what you all think it is. So here I want to use this platform for you to tell everybody out here watching you that is black really a bad color? And how do colors impact us? Is it okay to use any color I like?
Yes, perfectly. It's perfectly okay to use any color you like. Over the time, a color does have an impact, but a color teaches you a lot. A color first teaches you uh, how to accept what you are seeing and what you are feeling. Black is a very intense color. It is something which you can say is not forgiving. ब्लैक के
Okay.
अंदर व्हाइट डालेंगे ना इन अ पॉट फुल ऑफ ब्लैक इफ यू पुट लिटिल व्हाइट you will not know where that white disappeared. but
Yes.
uh, but working with black has been magical. It's been 2 years I've been making works with just black as my main color. And
Yes, I've seen that. I've
uh,
been seeing that. And they
lots
look.
of charcoals and lots of other black enamel works and oils and acrylics and all possible mediums I've explored black with.
Yeah.
When I started working in this studio, this is a rental place where I am right now.
Okay.
You can see around me.
Yes.
Yeah, this is my studio. I come here, I paint, and it's a place in Rajkot, Gujrat, that I have rented. So since the lockdown kicked in, we shifted at for a while. We have come down to Gujarat. So
All
this is
right.
a place that it's uh, where I come and paint. And when I came here, this was all empty, and I was painting canvases which were black. So pura ghar black, say, everywhere you'll find black stains and black paintings, abstract paintings having no meaning, and they are in a process of evolving. And it looked haunted. But
Okay.
I never gave up. When my mom came here for the first time, she told me, she asked me, "Are you depressed or what? What is happening with you?"
Yeah,
You know?
that's exactly what people say when they say black, using black.
Yeah. And I said, "You come after 15 days, mama." So after 15 days, the color itself revealed why it was, taking such a shape. A bit of gold came inside, a bit of white came inside, until you black allows you to take out your negative feelings. It allows you to accept your negative feelings. But I would say um, it's uh, it's a pass. It's a phase of you can say the dark night, where you choose to go through a phase of negativity, or a phase when you are not accepting and kind of accepting what is happening with you. You choose to at least be face to face with your fears, with your doubts, with your inner feelings. And that's the place where you evolve. It's not something that you have to get scared and run away from. It's like a tunnel. You have decided, okay, you are going to enter it, and there's light at the other side of the tunnel. So it's a beautiful phase of self evolvement, I would say.
I think you should have, small workshops with the school and the teachers to enlighten them about, especially the color black, because many teachers have spoken. That's not because it's my own child or something, but I've seen whenever a child is using black, or maybe some he's trying to break out, or she's trying to break out from the regular pattern, trying to paint the sky green. They are like, this is not correct, change it. And I feel he let the child be. That is the way he or she thinks. So
Yeah.
I feel like you are an hour of the need. Artists like you are an hour of the need when they need to, stop the child being always, bounding them and telling them what to do about
We have a name for, in the class, we have a name for such people who do not allow us to express, and they are known as art bullies.
art bullies. Nice one.
And when we want to show art bullies, we just make a scratch with black color and give hands and legs to it, like scarecrow.
Okay. Interesting. Very
So if
interesting.
bullies are listening, they should know that they should
Yes.
stop being an art bully.
Yes, I
And
feel it is expressive. Any form of art has the right to express. If you curb that, or if you put that in the boundaries, then there's no happiness, no, in that. Is there any happiness if you're pursuing such a kind of an art? I don't think
yeah,
so.
absolutely.
Now, like you said, many children come to you and many adults come to you to learn, right, Bansri?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do they have this kind of a thought when they come to you saying that, I can't paint, auntie. I don't want to try. Maybe मैंने कभी paint नहीं किया. Yeah, it's not there in me. Or I'm not an artist. At least me being the puppetry, when I take puppetry workshops, because it has some art and craft in it, many a times I meet children saying कि आंटी मुझे कटिंग नहीं आता, आप कर दो. तो I'm like, नहीं बेटा, you can try. ये तो common motor skills है, तुम कर सकते हो. This kind of a thing I experience. I'm sure you must be experiencing it much more, much more. So do you think that it's a gift that, or it can be learned, it can be developed?
So I normally, if I have time to educate them, I would like, there's a beautiful story by P.H. Reynolds. I often play this for kids, and where everything starts with a dot. And the protagonist of the story, she just knows how to make dots, and
I've read
she
the
cannot
story.
think of anything. Yeah, you've read that story, and the
Beautiful
teacher
story.
says it's a beautiful story. Why don't you frame that dot? And just everyone can make a dot. Come on and see where it takes you. So it starts from there. Everyone has this. We were born as primitive people, our race. So we have scratched the walls of caves, and we've learned how to make marks till the frescoes. So somewhere everybody is in between that segment. So
Yeah,
we have our own signature, our own language, and utni der hai that yes, we got to explore it. As
true.
we said, exploring it, every boundary just keeps dissolving on its own, and we keep discovering our own self, which is very beautiful. which is very exciting. I think everyone falls in love with themselves more when they start painting
Absolutely.
or making art.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, when I'm listening to all this, and I feel that when children come to you, they definitely come with this mindset. Many of them, at least 50%, that we can't do it. And then, what happens at the end? I mean, what kind of um, change happens at the end? Because you said this world is full of art bullies, which we all know. And if the child is really scratched very badly, it can it be undone? I mean, how long does it take to get it?
Here, here as a person, I have learned something from experiments of Gandhiji. I mean, I'm being too preachy. I'm just talking about so many things. But then there is an episode where, Gandhiji mentions that you cannot change everyone. And children come with a notion that they have in their mind sometimes they are let down by other people, so they think they cannot paint or draw. Sometimes they have a picture in their mind, nahi drawing mera aisa hi hona chahiye, this is, then only it's a nice drawing. They don't want to evolve. It's not a computer printout. I tell them it's not a computer printout. It's going to take time. You will
Yeah.
reach there, if you have a place figured out that aisa hona chahiye mera drawing, you will reach that place, but it will take time. So 80% of the people, they are convinced. 80% of the children are convinced, that okay, they start enjoying after a while, and they want to go through their that process. But then there are people who just do not want to do it. they want a computer printout, you know उनको वैसा ही चाहिए result. So then I let them be free. Maybe there's some other kind of exploration for them.
Yeah, true, true. So what I understand, after listening to you now, after the way you're telling me, it's so therapeutic. I feel because you're letting them do what they want to do,
Hmm.
and you're seeing a change, a significant change. 80% is a big number. If you can bring that change, that is a very big number, and I think very subtly it is doing a therapeutic job and a beautiful job.
It's a beautiful therapy, and something that works on constantly is confidence of a child. If it has to do with a child, if it's an adult, it's the self-esteem.
Yeah, I think adults also need it because I think most of us never forget our, there in the subconscious mind, there is always this child and his memories waiting, which definitely hamper growth at times. So if
Yeah.
that child is, we can go back to that child and make that child happy again, or maybe realize that you were worth it, you were special, then your personality also changes, present personality.
Yes. And
Do
they
you
are able to resolve many things. With adults, I have seen there have been people who were, I had a few students who were into like grown-up students into drugs, people going through very difficult relationships. So I have seen them resolve their issues. I have seen them resolve that. I would not say that art has helped them, resolve their issues, but it's themselves, their self-esteem getting better, and they themselves figure out so many solutions for their own self, and then they come back to me and say, because I was doing art, I was feeling a certain way, and because I was feeling a certain way, I could come to a few set of solutions. So um, that's what I have learned from them is a feedback.
Yes. Do you have any? I mean, is it okay if I tell you to share a very real life experience here of any student, or is it okay? I mean, completely your choice if it's, or you could just take a fictitious name and just because it's very good to know if it is how maybe your art, or you can say the person itself has accepted acceptance towards that art and expression has
Yeah.
brought that change. You have anything to share? Can we
So
share it here?
there was a student of mine. She was going through a very difficult time. When she came to me, when her parents got her to me, I figured out that things were not normal as normal students would come, they first requested a private class with me and just their daughter. And
Okay.
then after a few days, when I thought things were not okay, I spoke to the parents. I wanted to know more about the girl. Then I came to know that uh, they were suggested by the doctor to let her do art because she was going through a very difficult mental phase, which was triggered by taking drugs,
All right.
and she had also a few mental disorders.
Mm-hmm.
So at that time, she was like socially totally cut off from school and from classes. She was not allowed to go there. It was not safe for her to interact with more people. And art was the only thing uh, which was going to kind of that's what the doctors felt, that this is going to help her, so why not enroll. But when she got enrolled, she would take away all my space. She wouldn't like me to interact with anyone else, and it was difficult at times,
Yeah.
and it was very challenging. But at the end, the result was so nice. I mean, it was a period of 1.5 year, and then slowly she resumed the college back. Now she is a practicing interior decorator,
Oh my
and
God.
yeah, so that has been the story. Yes.
It's beautiful, beautiful. If you can touch even a single life, I think it's completely worth it. It's beautiful because with puppetry also, I always feel that the most timidest child or the child who never wants to talk or who's very shy, that child will also come and hug the puppet at the end of the show, of course, or want a selfie with the puppet, or whisper something to the puppet, some secret which I don't know, I never get to hear. But I'm so surprised how they connect to something like this, whereas a real life person like me standing and mujhe to bilkul get lost, that kind of a feeling. Who are you? Just get I want a selfie with the puppet, not you. You are just go away from the frame. That's how they treat me. But I really like it, and that's the impact that I think art can make on anybody's life. It be an
Yes.
adult, it be a child, it be an even somebody who's in their even their 60s or 70s. I think everybody enjoys art in any form. Right. But
Right.
when you look at the new generation now, I realize that everybody is running. It's very fast paced life, don't you think so, Bansri? Everybody is running. Sab bhag rahe. It's like, and Bombay is like one more ghoda. Everybody is running.
It is.
And uh, this kind of awareness is very important. This that you have to slow down, go to the nature, try out something, some kind of an art. It need not be only, painting or puppetry. It could be music, it could be dance, it could be anything. And I'm so glad that these days the companies and the corporates are giving it importance, because I see many of them conducting workshops, on motivation, on anger management, on stress, wherein they're bringing in artists of different types. They're bringing in drummers, they're bringing in painters, they're bringing in musicians, they're bringing in even storytellers and puppeteers like us, to bring a change in the employees mindset, or for many, many, many reasons I've seen. And I'm sure, I think I've read about you where you are also doing such work,
Yeah.
right? So
Yes.
I
I
want to know more.
I have worked with a few consultants on a few corporate assignments where my work is basically like a bridge, which is trying to do some problem solving or engagement for the employees. So over here, where I like that this craft should make an impact is I like to work on authenticity of people with whom I engage. It means that we fear to be authentic, especially
Yeah.
in a corporate environment. We are all labels. We have to behave a certain way. We got to be knowledgeable in a certain way. We carry our own responsibilities and egos. So I frame my work in such a way that first, when they see me, like a small, tiny girl standing there trying to make them do something, so they have that look on their faces that kya karna hai, chalo chalo jaldi karo, khatam karte hain isko, that
हाँ,
kind of,
हम ये क्यों कर रहे हैं?
yeah, why
Right?
are we doing this small activity? It's called like some small birthday party activity, and first few minutes, and they turn into college students, where they are vibing with the music and they are with their brush, they start enjoying. And 30 minutes, 1 hour down the line, they are like small kids.
Oh
That's
my
that's
God.
the barrier that it dissolves. That's
Yes.
how I plan the flow. That uh, that they should feel that a childlike feeling within. They connect with their inner child. So that's a win-win for me if that happens.
Yes, yes, yes. True. So how long does it take to thaw them?
See, अगर पहली रात में बिल्ली नहीं मारी तो फिर क्या मारी. You have to be ready with that first thing that you are going to do to make them freeze for a moment. Just a moment is enough.
Yeah. But then at the end, I'm sure they're very glad and they're like, now what's the feeling at the end when they leave your workshop? What kind of comments have you received at the end?
Oh, I have received very nice. It's the look on their faces is very accepting. So they start coming all near me, and then we have selfies together with the work and with me. जो पहले नहीं होता है, पहले it's like I am happy with my cocktail.
I can totally relate, Adi. I can totally
Yeah.
relate, really, really. So I think it's quite entertaining to, especially now. I think your art has reached a level where you don't care who judges you anymore. So
Yeah.
it's quite of kind of fun, don't you think so, to sit with people who are judging you and then change their reaction. It's kind of exciting, I
It's
feel.
like
Uh,
Riding Hood is trying to change the end of the story.
yeah, this when you were talking about it, I was actually visualizing everything. Okay, how they came in, with what kind of faces they came in. I love to visualize. So and how they went at the end, I found it very interesting. बहुत मजा आ रहा था.
The
No,
good
but
thing is when they start bonding between, when they start bonding well between themselves, and later the consultants tell me that you saw these two people in the picture, यहाँ पे problem हो रहा था,
oh my God.
organization में. So यहाँ पे problem हो रहा था. These two people were not getting along, and those two people are working on a canvas, imagine, together.
Building relationships, not
Yeah.
just only stress and only motivation, but a lot more is, I think, going on behind these workshops, right?
Yes, totally.
Yes, yes, I'm sure. I'm sure. I have many storyteller friends who do corporate stories, and they many of them have written scripts also, and they have come and told me that, Vinti, your script has made the people cry at the end, and I'm like, really unbelievable. So I can understand how much it can, influence you and um, get you be you rather than be like you said, they come with those labels. Yes, but for this younger generation, I think we need to motivate them more because they are just caught up in that rat race. When I look around, everybody comes with dreams, and then suddenly, and these, I'm talking about the generation now because now my son is also 17. I think most of the children start looking at कौन सा job क्या पे पैकेट देने वाला है, and then all your dreams are gone somewhere and you're running that race. And by seeing them mid 40s, I mean, suddenly वो जाग जाता है interest. Why is the realization happening so late? Is it a midlife crisis or something? Can we change this? I mean, why we can't bring this element in the beginning? क्या
I
दो
I
पैरेलल हो सकता है?
um Definitely, today's younger generation is not keen to explore everything about themselves, because one thing I feel, we often talk about is, they are not sitting on the ring road, they are sitting on the wrong road and caught up in pixels. So, all this, this new normal, being everywhere on social media and stuff, that takes away a lot of what they really want to be, because most of the time they start imitating what their friends are doing or what other people around them are doing, and by the time they want to do something or they want to explore something, they've lost a lot of time. And
Yeah,
those who are able to come out of it certainly do find a way. As in, I have a student, he's always found himself as an outcast in the school. So he is pursuing art, and he's left schooling, he's pursuing art, and he's pursuing music. His exploration could help him come out of a set pattern and explore himself. At the same time, his parents were willing to take that risk, to take this risk about not going the normal way. But somewhere, I think everybody can somewhere, make a balance between choosing to go a normal way and trying somewhere to explore their own inner self, because without that exploration, it kind of there remains a void, which maybe
yeah,
triggers after 40s. Then you
yeah.
suddenly start feeling,
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. This triggering after 40s. Can we start triggering this in their late 20s only, so that, or early 30s maybe, at least that much of change? Any, can we give them a few tips here, because we both are art people here, and
you should follow first, then I would follow you, I guess. What do
yeah,
you think, Rinti? What do you think could
yes,
be?
yes, I have a lot to talk here, but yeah, I'll definitely say a point here, one very important point, that our system of education needs to change. Already, it is showing changes. I can see that in the last 2 years there has been change, and this year I can see a lot of change in the system, in the education system. But like you said, remember that that child has left his schooling. Remember, I'm going back to what you said, to come back to what I'm talking about. And you said that he is pursuing now what, something different, what he wants to do. And I have realized such children, because they are not a part of the crowd, they become loners also. That is another fear which is there, because our we are drilled into a system that is that यही करना है हमें, यही करना है, बाकी सब time pass है. So that attitude has to be changed. Art should just not be a vocational subject, but it could be a subject like, see, children give elementary intermediate exams, no?
Yeah,
Why that cannot be a part of the curriculum? Why can it not be? Or maybe at least I should be happy that art, dance, music may you can get a degree now, but
yeah,
puppetry में तो कुछ नहीं है now. There's nothing. And
yeah,
we are one of the pioneers here. Can you believe, in our country? But
right.
nothing is happening. So this awareness needs to come from the grassroots level. This, I think, the first step would be that this awareness ki, okay, when you're doing this can also be your career, plus with your career you can balance, proper time management is required, of course family support, like we all say, family also to understand that that person is just not a machine for earning. He also, or she also needs a break, needs also to pursue their passion. I mean,
Right.
because we are in a Indian community. Yeah, the husbands are the
Yeah,
bread. I mean, the women are also doing everything now. But if you talk about it, the thought is still there. We can't escape that thought. So even if both are working, husband and wife, that thought should come in both of them, that give each other that time. Keep, you can pursue your this also. Do what
yeah,
you like other than your I, at least that is my thought, Bansiri. And that could bring a lot of change in the generation. When children see this, कि my
Yes,
mom is working as a professional. She may be an IT professional. Plus, she's also learning music and she's also performing somewhere. And the child also gets, ki if she can do it, I can do it. If my dad is,
absolutely. I
going
agree
on
with you.
rides and he's managing his office also, that I can also do that.
Absolutely. That balance is required. You're so true.
Yes,
That balance is.
absolutely. Now I want a tip from you also. That's not fair.
But my thing is what I've done. Explore yourself and find a way to discover what you like. If you don't know what you like, find a way to discover what you truly like, irrespective of your job or your people, what you truly like, and take out a little time, uh, once in a week, twice in a week, to pursue what you like, and it will take you from there.
Yes,
So yeah,
absolutely,
that's
absolutely.
good.
Actually, it's just a little bit of, it's not that I even sit and make puppets the whole day. It's not like that. I also take classes. I'm also studying, and I'm also looking after the house, and I'm also having time to, write my script. Although the frequency is not the way maybe a full-fledged person would do, but I am happy as a person. I'm earning also as a person. And you are, Bansri, what I see in you also, you're going places, and you're managing so much along with all. You're doing your online class, you're doing an offline. I have read that you're also teaching at many reputed colleges, and your work is featured in so many art galleries internationally. And here I have one thing to ask you. When does big bang happen in your life? You
So
uh,
before you ask me this, I think we can play a small video of my works, so that
yes,
you and maybe our viewers would like to
viewers,
see.
can you, of course, viewers would definitely want to see your work. We've been just talking about it. Let's see it. Yes. Lovely. Awesome work.
More than me, I wanted, especially you, since you're interviewing me, I wanted you to see my students and with a big smile on their faces.
Yes.
So this keeps me motivating, and I think it's a work that I would love to always do. Um, it's beautiful. The whole exploration has been very organic, going even to the college. So and teaching, because I've not been in an art college myself, as I'm a self-taught artist, but I'm teaching
Yes.
in colleges. So
That's so motivating to hear, that. I mean, I'm
yeah.
sure people who are listening to this are definitely going to feel very motivated.
Uh, so
And Definitely, you should talk about those galleries internationally. I want to know about that.
Okay, so it happened so that one day I was like, I'm so fed up of social media. I was telling to one of my friends over a call, I'm just so fed up with this Facebook and Instagram and what people post on it, and how you're supposed to keep knowing what you should post and write all the time and think about it. It's like we are not living our own life instead of thinking of about our posts and stuff like that every day. So from now on, there's no social media from me. If you want to, contact me, you should either call me or post me a text message because I'm deleting WhatsApp. That's what I told her. And she said, wait, I have an alternative. You can start writing on LinkedIn. Does that
Yes.
make sense to you? I said, I'm not sure. Then she told me that there's a artist that she knows. She's from Germany. Her name is Shahin Dehat, a very beautiful artist who's won a lot of national awards there. And she's been writing on LinkedIn, and she told me that, see, I'm going to share a few of her posts and what she's doing out there, and I would like you to stop the other social media, but start writing on LinkedIn. And
Okay.
she's a very childhood sweetheart, a very close friend of mine. And I said, okay, after
That,
seeing Shahin's work, I was like, yes, I would love to do something. I would like to tell my story. So I started writing on LinkedIn, and it had been a year of my posts on LinkedIn, of writing regularly, almost every other day or every alternative day. When when there was a gallery who approached me, they wanted my works on their online platform. That's how it started. And
lovely.
then one more gallery followed. That's how I met Stefania. She is curator of 11 Hell Heaven Art Gallery, having presence in Rome and Miami. So my works were taken by them. They were showed in US, Miami, Red Dot Miami. They even had put my works on display.
Wow.
That's how I got my galleries, so to say.
Fabulous. This is fabulous. I mean, awesome. So happy to hear something like this. Bansi, before moving on, no, I have to take two questions from the audience. One is from
Yes.
Isha Vikram. She's asking you that COVID has been a difficult time for humanity at large. Has this phase impacted your art in any fashion?
it it did impact me before the COVID phase started. I started feeling internally that I was getting drawn to silence and charcoals. I wanted to be alone for some time in charcoal. I just thought it's a phase. I would like be over with it soon, because it keeps happening. Such phases keep happening when you want to create by yourself and just for yourself. But soon I found myself painting with black, lots of blacks around me, and one canvas after the other canvas, and I still wanted to paint black. And slowly I started to feel that other artists also in social media, whoever other artists nationally, internationally, I could see they are also using black. It was like a cosmic awareness. I could feel not just me, but many artists are
Yeah.
using black to convey their emotions, what they were feeling. And this shaped my new collection of artworks. uh, it's called Enlightened Obscurum, and it's a journey from darkness towards light. I feel we all are a part of that journey in this dark phase, that we have witnessed. This
Mhm.
has brought about so many changes. Like, whatever you've planned for your future has changed. People have lost jobs, relationships. uh, there there has been darkness, I think, and this darkness was something that I wanted to acknowledge through my work. And
Mm.
I could, and I don't think I'm done with it. I still want to still paint on that collection. I have written a thesis on what I have painted with on my collection, and I would like to showcase it somewhere so that it makes sense to, and people can connect with it wherever they are, whoever is viewing it.
Right.
The whole collection is up online on a 3D virtual exhibit. So if she wants to see, I can share the link someday with
Yeah.
Isha.
Can we share it here? Is it possible? I
Not right now, but I can maybe,
okay. We
share
could
it.
we could share it sometime later. Okay. There's one more question from the same person. And that is that at what age would you say should parents start encouraging their kids?
Okay. So when I had my child, Gotham, when Gotham started to sit, just so that he was, stationary, he could sit and not fall like that. When he started to sit, I started to give him crayons and oil pastels that he could just make lines with. And every day I would look at that papers and I kept collecting those papers. So I feel that was the most beautiful time that I had with Gotham, because whatever he was making, I used to cherish that. Slowly, I used to sit with my work because now he was engaged for 15-20 minutes, so I could do my work. And I was making Ganeshas at that time, and I don't know, his work also were reflecting Ganeshas. He could
Yes,
not
I,
speak.
I I saw that video. I saw that video of
Yeah.
yours,
So I have
and it
picked up his scribblings and I have turned art
very
from them. But I so far nowadays he's not painting. He wants to play cricket and he wants to play games. So, but I have left it like that. But whenever he picks up a brush, I see a flare in his brush. It's not restricted, and
yes.
it's a free space for him. So I think the earlier the better. It's nice to give them crayons that they can hold, and and a firm base, a firm paper, rather than giving a very flimsy paper. 350 GSM watercolor paper is a good paper to work with for kids because it allows firmness and it has a texture. And when kids explore, they find it very grainy and it's like, they want to do more.
What is
So
GSM? Can I just ask?
it's the thickness of the paper.
So when you go to the market, you can specify that I want a paper as thick as this. Wow,
Yes.
good coming from an art teacher. We get to learn so much. See, yes, because we don't know about all this, and this is really helpful for all the parents who is buying stationery and the child is maybe using pressure and look. एक बार में फट गया या the child has put
Ah,
some colors and one big blob has come, a big hole has come there. So the child is frustrated, the mom is frustrated. So it's good to know
yes.
that
Then the mom says, no more working with any art supplies. I am done. ये बहुत mess होता है.
yes, I remember when my yeah, elder one was always into different kind of things. So I used to
Mm.
tape paper all newspapers all over the house because we stayed in a government accommodation, so it was all taped. So and I had made corners for him. So I used to stick two, three papers together so that it is thicker. And I used
Ah,
to give him colors and he used to do whatever he wants. And then they give a face just like you're saying, when he just didn't do anything, no color, no coloring, he hated drawing. And then kick him a face when he was using black, and black knives, axes, and all. And it was worrying me, but then I think there was a lot of pent up things just coming out, and I was glad it was coming out. And now it's vibrant colors. So I think
beautiful.
it's every time I see a change, in a human being, I think that, like you said, the emotions are playing a big role here and making you do different things. And
Yes.
yeah, and before we go ahead, there's one more, question here where it's not a question, basically a statement that black and white photographs have more depth than emotions. I think that's what you were talking about some time back.
Yeah.
Yes, it has, probably is it because I saw you when you were painting, you were also using it, I remember when you were that same video I was watching, you were using different brushes where I could see even it turning into grays
Yeah.
and, different shades. Then I saw one of your artwork, wherein you used gray and you used pink florals in the foreground.
Yeah.
It looked fabulous. I mean, I loved that. And working
That
on
artwork
linen.
is right at it's here. If you can see,
Yeah, I can see it. Yes, yes, yes.
it's
And it looks so beautiful. When I saw it, I like pink and black go so well. Next time I'm going to go to a shop and pick up a big pink and black dress for myself. I mean, see, your um, vision improves. I never thought that these colors would go so well. But
yeah.
then when I see uh, an artist doing it, it's like, oh wow. So it's pretty interesting, to see this kind of work and lot of learning. Honestly speaking, बहुत कुछ सीखा इतने छोटे से
Even
interview.
more, I would say to everyone who's viewing, if you like art, just to be on this side of the canvas as a viewer, if it's that enthralling, when you start doing it, it's even more absorbing. It's
Yes.
beautiful what comes out.
Yeah. Bansri, I have one, this is one thought which comes to my mind actually. Do you think people, many of the youth, or maybe the children, or maybe the adults, or anybody, hesitate to take this art because art supplies are expensive? Or you can do art with anything. I mean, it doesn't have to be expensive paints, because paints are expensive, paper is expensive.
Yeah, I would say art is not a very cheap hobby. Like, it's not something which is not going to cost you. There are alternatives where you can work with things that are not expensive and yet build a style in art. For example, if you want to be an abstract artist, you could just have paper, soft pastels, and charcoal as your medium, and that does not cost you much. And if you want to be a realistic artist, you can have pencil as your medium, pencil and paper, and that also would not cost you much. The thing is, I work with slum children, so I was given this opportunity by Robin Hood Army in Mumbai, where I had worked, and they still call me, and we are in touch. It was beautiful to work with them. They did not have art supplies, but when I saw their sketchbooks, they were filled with images that made me move. And we curated an art exhibit for them, which was funded by the Lions Club, Mumbai.
Lovely.
And yeah, and we could raise around 75K in 2 hours of that
Oh, wow.
exhibit for
Beautiful.
them.
Beautiful.
Yes, and they donated quite a bit of art supplies. So we could do watercolor paintings and other paintings, but even without resources, the kids were doing fantabulous work in their sketchbooks.
Yeah, that's good to hear,
So,
because this is one thing which has been, in my mind also, because when we go for workshops um, in slum areas, I've been to many places, many NGOs, and the first thing they say, ma'am, stationery is a problem. So that is time I give them all recycled items.
yeah,
So I'm glad to know that even in painting there are different options where you can try, and you don't have to restrict yourself to expensive things. And art should be for all, for everybody, not
yeah.
just
In
for.
fact, the cheapest supplies which are available are newsprints, the paper that go for, on which the newspapers are printed. That paper is known as newsprints, over which one could work with charcoal and soft pastels, and it gives amazing, amazing effect.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay, that's
So,
good to hear. I mean, it's good information that, because many of them would be, if anybody is listening to this, could get their resources from there, whoever is handling NGOs and all, because
yeah,
even they are at short of funds because of this pandemic and all this happening. So
right.
supplies have got affected now a lot. So,
Yeah.
getting alternatives is always good. It's always wonderful.
Yeah. But in the end, I would say that art, yes, art is expensive. Uh, you have to cut down on your other expenses if you really want to, pursue, preserve, work on your art.
Yes,
It's a choice that you will have
agree,
to
agree.
make.
Same here. Even I know when I have to make a good puppet or a muppet, which is sitting behind, I have to use good quality for good quality felt so that it doesn't, wear off when I'm doing a
Yeah.
show. And everything, every part has to properly work. So you have to spend. And if you just want to do a paper thing or a casual thing at times, therefore for that moment it's good, but then it loses sheen. So I can understand that very well. Now, this is one, I want to close this session here with one very important question. And this question is a question for many people who are pursuing art or any other alternative, this, or maybe it's their profession, whatever, their freelance work. Is that, like you said about LinkedIn, you went to LinkedIn, and that's how all your windows opened. And for me, it's been more of YouTube, because I felt I could reach out more with YouTube. With YouTube videos, I felt I got more people knowing me, more people approaching me for work. When a lot of NGOs and schools calling me for training, and similarly, like you said, LinkedIn. How much do you think we should explore these social media? And because half of the crowd here is using social media only for, like you said, just like a medium of showing how well dressed we are, or I went there, or I just a very false life. But you could use it for a very constructive purpose. I want to talk about this because you're a big example here. This has turned your life 360 degrees. So I think this is a message, a powerful message for everybody, that how you use it in a nice way, so that it helps you bring out your essence. How do you
Right.
connect to people?
So I would say that, first you got to know who you are as a person and what do you want. Because once you expose yourself to social media, you're exposing yourself to so many people out there who may or may not have always good intent, and who may have time wherein they are free, and interacting with them could mean that you are sacrificing your time on other things which are important to you with the people that you're living in. So knowing a virtual life versus a real life, the difference between that is very very important when one wants to step into a social media life, I would say. At the same time, it definitely helps because everyone is a storyteller. Why are we out there? Because we want to tell our story, we want to share. That's the first thing, and
Yes.
everything else follows. What comes after it is maybe we getting more opportunities or people calling us. That's something that strikes when we share our story.
Yeah.
So if we want to share our story, for me it was like that, Rinty, that I am here to make my own analog. This is my daily diary, I would say to myself. This is what I'm doing for myself first. So it's not to show to people, देखो मैंने ये किया, देखो मैंने वो किया, nothing like that. Because how long will you cannot people fool people all the time, or you cannot make people
Or blow
engage
your own trumpet.
through your own trumpet. It's not possible, and nobody is interested.
Absolutely.
So it's my own daily diary, it's my analog. It's something that if I want to, see what I have done in past few months or something, it helps me to recall back. Because sometimes it just everything gets lost, what you've done. Kabhi
Yeah.
kabhi I look at a photograph and then I realize, oh, I had done this workshop also, and I'd done something which was very valuable. So
Absolutely.
in that ways, it definitely helps you to build up your analog. One thing is that you have to have your filter on and learn to say no to projects which are not bringing you the kind of result that you're seeking. For me, it's my evolvement that I'm seeking, and then
Yes.
connecting with other people and giving them value for work. So if it's
Absolutely.
not giving me that, uh, it's not about money, or it's not about fame. For somebody it could be about money. So people, you we need to have that filter on to take
Totally
work,
agree.
to say
Totally.
no, because then a lot of people, it is a steady response from everywhere. हर जगह से आ रहा है. So uh, we need to filter that out, because at the end we are living a life with people to whom we belong, and our roots are with them. So it's our responsibility versus swadharma to be there for our people also.
Yes.
Yeah.
What I can summarize from what you're saying, for the audiences and for me also, because I've also learned a lot, is first of all, regularity is very important.
Yeah.
uh, and Being honest with your work,
Yeah.
very honest with your work. Be very sure what you're doing. I mean, very sure of what is your priority when you're doing such work. And yeah, keeping your filters on, the very important part.
Yeah.
Very, 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 very insightful and very important points, I think. The same goes with me also. We put a lot of restrictions in YouTube when we do it, so that there are no nasty comments, which, because there are many children watching my show also. So we try to keep that, and YouTube has very good filters, which it helps us. If you make it for kids, then nobody can put any harsh comments or something, which maybe because the child is also reading those things. So yes, we all need to be very careful when we are there, and we don't need I think it was important not to stray, right, Bansri? Because at times we start looking at the social media and we just stray and we go somewhere where we don't belong to. That happens with me at times. So to keep reminding myself, come back to it, right?
It's a labyrinth which keeps opening here and there.
Yes, yes, yes. It's very, very, very addictive. To be very careful, very careful.
Although it's enjoyable also sometimes, especially the cat and dog videos.
Yeah, true, 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 true. It was a pleasure, Bansri, talking to you. Really, I could
Same
keep
here.
talking to you all day.
Same here, Rinki. Thank you so much.
And you have cleared so many myths and so many old school thoughts of not just me, but I think most of us today. I'm very sure about that. I really wish you all the very best for your future endeavors. May you reach out more and enlighten more of us in with
Thank
your
you.
unique art form. I really pray that you reach places.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you
And
for having me.
yes, I will be in connect with you always, because I love people with artistic thoughts, and such kind of thoughts that you have, and there are very few people to find like you. I'm so glad I've met you. I'm so glad. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you,
TLR
Rinki.
shows. Yes, so TLR shows is brought to you by TLR, a niche coaching, training, and mentoring service provider based out of India, having done programs in India, Oman, Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, Denmark, and they are going places. A big thank you, first of all, to all the lovely audiences who have spared their valuable time and supported us. I wish you all the best in life. Please stay healthy and stay safe, and keep watching us, because TLRs, this is the 93rd edition, and they'll be coming up with more shows, chasing their 100th edition very soon. Stay tuned. You can follow TLR at LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. See so many YouTube, Twitter, Pinterest. Oh my God, we are going to go the whole day. So
Yes.
thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.